I believe we have another caller on the line. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam, brother, to you and to Sayyid Ammar Nakshawani. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Sayyid Ali Jan Shah. And I appreciate this Sayyid Ammar Nakshawani is inspired to us.
Thank you very much.
And we are fortunate we have inspiring figure like him in us, among us.
Thank you.
So my question, Sayyid, to you is this, that from Zakireens and Ulmas who've been listening from childhood, the Imam Zainul Abidin after Karbala, he cried for 40 years, blood crying, you know. So you just mentioned he lived 35 years after Karbala. So how come this 40 years thing is coming? How can we add this up? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your very lovely words as well, brother. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salam, we'd like to obviously like to thank the brother for his beautiful call. Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salam, Karbala happened in 61 after Hijrah, and the Imam dies in the year 95 after Hijrah. So he lives for 34 and some months, 34 years and some months after Karbala. I would give the benefit of the doubt to the Zakireen or to the speakers when they say 40, in them possibly saying that they're rounding a figure, that for some 40 years or so after Karbala, Imam Zain al-Abidin, but historically accurate would be 34 years exactly Imam Zain al-Abidin lived after Karbala.
Okay, thank you very much, Sayyid. I believe we have, do we have another caller on the line? No, okay. Inshallah, we are going to just go to a very quick break now. His martyrdom tonight, and so I'd like to send my condolences to all the brothers and sisters out there watching tonight. Before the break, Sayyid, we were discussing, and in fact, we had a caller who asked us to discuss why Imam al-Baqir is perhaps not better known, not just, I suppose, amongst our schools, amongst the other schools of Islam, but as well amongst our own school as well. He's not, unfortunately, known as one of the, astaghfirullah to even say it, big imams, and it's a tragedy, I believe. What do you think the reasons behind this are, and what can we do? What are our responsibilities to make sure Imam al-Baqir's prominent position is given to him?
Well, it really is a shame that we have cocooned Imam al-Baqir alayhi salam from the whole of humanity in reality. Because many times when we discuss an imam, from the imams of Ahl al-Bayt, we can either discuss him as someone who only belongs to us, or discuss him as someone who every human being can learn from his knowledge. There are many narratives from Imam al-Baqir alayhi salam which every human being out there can learn from. You don't have to be a Muslim to learn from him. There are many pieces of knowledge which relate to the scientific world, which relate to the historical world, and there are people with these interests in the world who, without a shadow of doubt, would have a keen interest in reading about some of his narratives in this area. And it really is a shame that we find certain schools in Islam where you have people who have not got a clue who Imam al-Baqir is at all. And in some cases, because certain people try to hide the legacy of Imam al-Baqir alayhi salam, because Imam al-Baqir in many cases would outshine the Caliph of the time, be it a Caliph like Hisham bin Abd al-Malik, or a Caliph like Yazid bin Abd al-Malik, or a Caliph like Walid or Sulaiman bin Abd al-Malik, or even Abd al-Malik himself. You'd find that Imam al-Baqir, because he'd outshined them, there are certain people who wouldn't want to praise him. Why? Because to them the Caliph is the be-all and end-all of the Islamic state. Corrupt or not corrupt, religious or not religious, many people unfortunately will bow down to the Caliph in history simply because he's got that seat, rather than appreciate those people who actually were the seat of knowledge in that period. And one recommendation I would always give is that for those people who are out there who want to know more about Imam al-Baqir alayhi salam from other schools in Islam, all you have to do is go and research Umar bin Abd al-Aziz, his relationship with Imam al-Baqir alayhi salam. And that's enough of an avenue from which we can explore. As in, from the school of Ahl al-Bayt we can write more about this, because Umar bin Abd al-Aziz, every school in Islam respects him. Some even will say he's the 5th Caliph of Islam. If you go and read the narratives about Umar bin Abd al-Aziz and see what he thought of Imam al-Baqir alayhi salam and the knowledge of Imam al-Baqir, you can write a whole discussion which other schools in Islam can benefit from. Even people like Abu Hanifa. Abu Hanifa spent over 30 years of his life during the life of Imam al-Baqir, And a number of those years were spent under the, being a student of Imam al-Baqir as well, and then later a student of Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam. So, you know, these are two avenues from which we would be then able to allow others to come and understand Imam al-Baqir alayhi salam. In terms of our own people, why we are negligent of knowledge on Imam al-Baqir alayhi salam, well, sometimes, you know, we tell people knowledge is power, but it looks like some want to remain weak. You know, how many times can you say in a lecture, people go out and read, people go and gain knowledge, people go and explore, go on the internet, go and research. There are some magnanimous works on Imam al-Baqir which you can benefit from, be it Qarashi's works on the biographies of the Imams, where there are many good incidents which we can learn from, be it someone like Lalani's recent work on Imam al-Baqir alayhi salam, which someone can also benefit from as a beginner and an understanding of what surrounded the environment which Imam al-Baqir was living in. So there are works out there on Imam al-Baqir alayhi salam, but it's up to the person to go out and search for this knowledge.
Absolutely. And inshallah, in fact, we are going to come back and discuss in detail, or in more detail, these stories between Imam al-Baqir alayhi salam and Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, who, as you mentioned, is respected in many and all of the schools of Islam. I believe, though, we have another caller on the line. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Miyali Madad.
Yeah.
My question is kind of related to the topic, but not that much. And the question is about the infallibility of the Imams. I mean, in the Shia school of thought, we believe that there were 14 individuals who were completely free of all sin, completely free of all mistake. They never did anything in their lives that was not favored by Allah. But then we have individuals like Bibi Zainab and Ghazi, Hazrat Abbas al-Islam, and the sons and you know, other relatives of the Imams, like, and the people who were with Imam Hussein in Karbala, like his wives. The question is relating to, you know, how were they infallible as well, or how close, if they were, what was their status in terms of, you know, infallibility, that is basically my question.
Thank you very much, brother. Where are you calling from, brother?
West Yorkshire.
West Yorkshire. Thank you very much. I know it's a broad accent there. Thank you very much for your call. Assalamu alaikum. The brother's question, just to reiterate, is regarding, obviously, as the followers of the Ahlul Bayt, as the brother mentioned, we do have the 14 Ma'sumin, who are the 12 Imams, alayhi salam, Hazrat Fatima Zahra, salamatullah alayha, and obviously Rasulullah, so basically, he's asking, are there other characters or other personalities within the religion who may have a concept or an element of freedom from sin, so to speak?
First and foremost, we don't just believe in 14 personalities being infallible. We believe in 124,014, or, you know, 124,013, I could say. So it's important for us to understand this, because sometimes people seem to forget to mention that we believe in every prophet of God being infallible as well, and then the Imams of Ahlul Bayt. There are narratives which discuss the fact that someone like Sayyidah Zainab alayhi salam reached a minor level of infallibility. In other words, she lived in a way where she was a virtual infallible on the earth. She kept away from sin. She kept away even from those acts which are, you know, not recommended. And we have these narratives of a type of infallibility which some may call Asmat al-Sughra, for example, where these people are able to abstain from that which causes sin. Because as we mentioned in the previous show, what causes you to sin is one of 4 factors: either greed or anger or lust or envy. And when you look at a character like Sayyidah Zainab or like Aba Fadl al-Abbas alayhim as-salam, you'll find there is no way in their life you'll ever find them in a state of greed except the greed for Allah's mercy. You'll never find them angry except angry for the sake of Allah's cause. There will never be any instances of lust which is used in the wrong way, or any instances of envy, except a type of envy, for example, which is, look at the position they're blessed in, I wish I can be blessed in that position as well. So those 4 factors not affecting them would mean that they can reach a level which is known as a minor level of infallibility, where God puts a grace upon them that they are able to abstain from sin. Someone says, what do you mean minor level of infallibility? That's impossible. No, we have scholars in the world today from different schools of Islam who are so highly revered because of their piety that people would never imagine they'd go near sin. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself has promised in a famous narrative, He has said, if you obey me, I'll become the ears by which you hear, and the eyes by which you see, and the mouth by which you speak. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, God has promised the human being, obedience to me will allow you to receive a grace where you will be guided by me in every action. So without a doubt, there are certain personalities who can reach that minor level.
Thank you very much. I believe we have another caller on the line. Assalamu alaikum. No.
Hello, salam.
Oh, assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum, sister, you're on air.
Salam, brother.
Salam. Do you have a quick... Sorry.
I'm Zahra from Cardiff.
Assalamu alaikum, sister.
Yes, go ahead, sister.
Alaikum assalam. I have two questions, if that's okay.
Sure. Yeah, that's
my
fine.
first question... Excuse me?
No, sorry,
My
sir,
first-
please ask, yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Are you trying to listen through the television? If you could turn your TV...
No, I'm far away.
Okay, sure.
My first question is, I'm actually from Bahrain, and in our country, National Day will be on the same day as Ashura this year. And there's a controversy between like Shias and Sunnis, and I believe that there are some people who want to celebrate on this day, and they argue that country comes before religion. So I was just wondering, what can we do to, prevent, like, how can we argue back? What should our job be in order to prevent this sort of big issue?
Our people or their people?
Do you mean, do our people celebrate this day, or is it people from other schools within Islam?
No, people from the same nationality, but they are not Shias.
Not followers of... Okay. And your second question, sister?
Because we are very closely related to them, and they are... Like, we
as in there's
with them
there's a lot of intermarriages and close relations between the different sections of society.
Yes.
Okay. And your second question, sister?
Yeah, my second question is, we're in university the whole day and with lectures and whatnot, and we find it hard to pray in university because of the different... because we find it hard to... One second.
Okay, I believe the call dropped. But I believe the question is regarding maybe a problem many of us have faced when we've been in our times at university, where you may be sitting in a lecture sometime and the time for prayer is coming, and especially in the winter times when the time for Zuhr, for example, is very short and you're worried you may not be able to get out and pray. So inshallah we'll be able to answer that question. The Sayyid can give us practical advice about how us as young Muslims living in the West, we can address this issue. The first question was regarding, the sister mentioned she was from Bahrain, and she said that unfortunately it seems that in Bahrain they have put National Day, a celebratory day, as the same day as Ashura, and that some of perhaps their relatives, because she said, there's good relations between the different schools of Islam, which is very good and we encourage it, but some maybe relatives don't understand the importance of Ashura, and so on that day, thinking it's a national day of celebration, they'll go out and they'll celebrate. And so she's saying, what's our response? How can we advise and speak to our friends and relatives in the country in order to get them to realize that this is not a day of celebration or joy?
I think all you can do is remind, because reminder in many cases is good, nothing more. As in, a verse which springs to mind on this issue is the Holy Prophet being told by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you cannot guide whom you love, Allah guides who He wants to guide. There are sometimes people in our lives who may be within our family circle but have different ideologies to us. We can't guide them simply because we love them. All we can do is remind them. We put the proof on top of them. so that there are no excuses. And we say to them that in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that through His Prophet's famous words, that I don't ask from you anything except love for my family. And that this is a day when my grandson, who I told you that he's part of me, whoever loves him loves me, whoever loves